Good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to you. Uh, a very good time with all the rains happening around. We are having a very short session today. The session is on a report that ISA publishes periodically, and the title of that report is Ease of Doing Solar. Many of you have a printed copy of the brief in your hand that we had put. So, just to briefly introduce myself, I am Mohammad Saif and I am a partner with Ernst& Young. With, we work together with ISA's resource mobilization team to publish this report. The latest version of the report was published a few weeks back at the 8th ISA Assembly, and this is titled Ease of Doing Solar for 2025. I have with me the resource mobilization team of ISA online. It is headed by Kanv, and we have Nikesh and Sachi also there. I would request Nikesh to take over the presentation, and quickly we have Kanv and Nikesh. So, Nikesh, over to you. I would
Thank
request Nikesh to give a brief about the framework, how we cover 125 countries, how we evaluate them, and how do we bucket them into different categories. It's quite an interesting work that we do. Over to you, Nikesh.
Hi, Seth. Thanks for the introduction. Is my screen visible to everyone? Uh, Hi. Can is everyone able to hear me?
Yes,
Yes.
we can hear you.
Yeah.
Nikesh.
Yes, we can hear you. And I think my screen is not visible. Is it visible now?
Yes,
Yes,
visible,
it is.
Nikesh.
Yes,
Okay.
it's visible.
So, hello everyone. It's a privilege to join you virtually while you have gathered in the city of Belém. I hear the Amazonian weather is warm and humid, perfect for the rainforest, maybe not so good for wearing a suit. But I hear and I see that the energy on the ground is incredible, and thousands of delegates and experts coming together to shape the future of climate action. I mean, it's a big event for the climate community that's happening right now. And even though I'm far, I do feel very connected to the pulse of what's happening there. But let's just dive in to let's turn to the topic of the discussion, which is ease of doing solar. Thank you, Seth, for your opening remarks and introducing the team. Uh, UI team has indeed given a lot of commitment or has been the driving force behind these efforts. So it's inspiring that the product or the framework that has come out uh, by all the hard work that the team has put in. Uh, just to start with, what is the ease of doing business? It's a global analytical product developed by International Solar Alliance. It's designed to help us understand, compare, and accelerate solar adoption across diverse countries and regions. I'll walk through I'll walk through the key findings, implications for solar finance, and how these insights help countries drive policy action, drive help investors drive their investment decisions or or identify priority markets for investments, how it drives entrepreneurs, or how it drives flow of energy as in those regions and countries that we have evaluated. But let's begin with the purpose behind the EODS. So, EODS was conceived as a concept to address a fundamental question. what is it really for, or what does it really take for a country to succeed in scaling up solar energy? We know that adoption of solar energy is not about technology or finance, but it's about creating an ecosystem which, which would we have policies, infrastructure, market maturity, the economic stability, uh, the and of course needs of people take a priority, and all of these things work together. UBS provides a structured, multi-layered approach, which has 7 drivers the, at the first level, and these drivers act as pillars of solar readiness, ranging from market maturity to financing. These 7 drivers are then further classified or further extended into 19 parameters, which then provides measurable aspects of the different drivers, and these parameters are then further detailed by 56 key performance indicators. These performance indicators allow us to track progress and identify gaps, and these are measurable in nature. These have been assigned numerical values to be able to compare between different countries and different regions. The framework is it has gone through rigorous improvement and rigorous in analytical process with a lot of stakeholder consultations, as well as internal revisions and iterations. And after this, it has become, I would say, a very uh, practical framework which offers today actionable insights for the stakeholders, for policymakers, for investors, as well as for development partners. For instance, if I mean, I'll maybe give a one step more deeper dive into the framework, and then maybe explain it a little better. Uh, the 7 drivers that we saw in the previous page, those are effectively divided, those are effectively as listed: market maturity, macroeconomy, policy enablers, infrastructure, financing, and energy imperatives. uh, these 7 drivers cover the full spectrum of what's needed for solar success. And then each of these drivers are then further unpacked into parameters and KPIs. For instance, under energy imperatives, we have energy outlook and energy tariff. These 2 parameters are then further divided into 11 KPIs, which are measurable in nature. And these KPIs then, and when these countries, all the 125 member countries of ISA, when these are measured across the KPIs, they give a composite score of that country on energy imperatives. And similarly, the similar process is followed for other 7 or for other six drivers. For instance, if a country might have excellent solar resources but lack protection for investors or lack grid infrastructure, EODS helps this framework helps pinpoint these gaps, which enables targeted interventions. Uh, for instance, you will see going in the next slides as well, that African countries provide abundant, or they have abundant solar resources, which are offset by challenges in grid infrastructure, access to finance, market maturity, etc. And the report highlights those things and helps countries prioritize their efforts. Uh, this framework is also this framework considers critical factors in the deployment value chain, which is the 56 KPIs that we discussed in the previous page. These KPIs are further divided into 3 categories. Around around 17% of those KPIs are country level macroeconomic enablers, whereas around 22% of those KPIs are driven from power and utility ecosystem. They cover aspects related to ecosystem that may influence development of solar in any country. And then further, which is the largest section, the solar sector related specific aspects, which which have a direct bearing on development of the renewable energy sector in that country.
Right.
Right. So a combination of these KPIs, which has 60% weightage in solar sector, around 20% weightage in power and utility sector, and around 20% weightage to macroeconomic economic enablers of that country. This comprehensive variety or range of parameters or KPIs ensure that while the study or the entire evaluation is comprehensive in nature, but it also gives due weightage to factors specific to solar. We have other rating mechanisms like ease of doing business was there, and there are several other ratings or several other studies which rate countries on different parameters. What's specific about this study is that it compares countries primarily on their on their ability or their framework for enabling solar in that country. The framework categorizes all the countries into four categories, uh, which are achiever, influencer, progressive, and potential. Achiever would be a country which has robust and consistent performance across the solar ecosystem. They are good at the market is mature, the macroeconomic conditions are great, uh, the financing is easily available, infrastructure is available, all the policy framework is stable as well as forward looking and flexible to improve to accommodate technological advancements. Whereas an influencer would be someone which has some areas of strength but still has some gaps. They are into in a way they have a moderately favorable environment which may come out of strong political leadership, or from market development, or sometimes purely from technological feasibility. But at the same time, there are some areas where these countries lack. Progressive countries are classified as those who are in the early stage of development. They have shown some momentum. There are some installations that are happening, but they still need some support and they still need some guidance or learning from other countries who have done it better and are on the learning curve. Whereas potential, which is the fourth category, that is a category where the foundational work is still underway. The policies are still being put up, or the frameworks are still being designed. The grid is in a way not, or the overall access and financing and market maturity is not really at a level where solar could really become a strong source of energy for that country. This categorization is not just academic, it's a practical tool for tailoring strategies. For instance, achievers like India and Australia, they are focusing on innovation and scaling, while progressives such as maybe Bangladesh or Cameroon, they can benefit from capacity building and policy support. Further, this analysis provides some regional insights, as you would see in the second half of the page in front of you. Uh, the Africa region, uh, our analysis shows that their technological feasibility and energy imperatives are really the areas of strength, whereas market maturity and financing is the area where they somehow lag. And then if we talk about Asia Pacific region, uh, policy enablers and energy imperatives are some areas where they can work and they can improve, while market maturity is there already. And then similarly for Europe and others, as well as lack market maturity is there, but there are other areas which they can potentially improve, or through building investor confidence if they're lacking in financing, or adding some or adding some or being more flexible towards newer technologies by improving and that can lead to their technological feasibility score improvements. uh, this is Here you will see a map of all the member countries which have been covered in this study, and different colors represent how they are ranked as outcome of this analysis. Uh, just to share some highlights, around 65% of the achievers, this is a study that we've been doing since 2019. The last version came in 2022, and you would see that around 65% of the achievers have retained their previous classification, which they received in 2022, which is showing sustained excellence. Whereas around 14 countries have improved their status, reflecting successful interventions and reforms. Whereas some countries like India, Australia, Russia, Australia, France, Brazil, they have Israel, Denmark. These are some notable achievers. Uh, Take Ethiopia for an example. The recent policy reforms in investment in green infrastructure have propelled it from a potential to a progressive country, which is opening new opportunities for solar developers as well as investors. Asia Pacific has consistently performed. The entire region has consistently performed well on market maturity and macroeconomy. Africa, as I said earlier, it's performing well on technological feasibility with abundant solar resources, giving natural advantage. Uh, Further, if you look at regional classification, among the achievers, 50% of the countries are from Europe and others region, whereas around 25% belong to the Asia Pacific region. And in the potentials, around 58% of the countries are from Africa, but it also has a significant share of Asia Pacific countries, around 32% of the potential countries, which are classified there. Uh, uh, Further, you would notice that if you do a deep dive, you'll see that clear there are clear policy and regulatory frameworks that have attracted private investment in the achiever and influencer countries. And then and also the fact that areas which lack some of these aspects, they are relying more on concessional developmental finance or interventions the to enable growth of solar in that region. We have While this study has evolved over the years, we still believe that there are some areas that we can learn or where we can adapt further. Some of the focus areas that we have identified where we will continue improving or engagement with the stakeholders and improve further the quality of or assessment would be will would be, for instance, we would look forward to having more more enhanced engagement with the NFPs. We would like to position EODS in the government's policy making agenda to attract investors. We would also uh, next year be targeting to release a digital version which would have access and which would have enhance the accessibility and interactivity of the countries. We will be able to compare two countries uh, rankings as well as ratings across the seven drivers, and then different countries can learn from each other how they are performing poorly or what kind of impediments are there in improving their score and rating. And then we are also in parallel exploring some new indicators which are relevant to improve the credibility and which are also easily available, which makes the report more comprehensive. In parallel, the team is also working on partnering with uh, organizations like WEC, World Economic Council, World Energy Council, or World Economic Forum, who publish results in the similar areas. And we will be leveraging their expertise and resources to make this even better. To conclude, UBS is more than just an analytical product. It provides roadmap for action. Uh, Different countries can it gives opportunities for countries as well as investors to compare different regions as well as different countries and adapt their for in case of investors their investment decisions for with respect to countries their own policy action with respect to say development finance institutions. It helps them identify what are the areas of intervention that they can use to improve the solar readiness for those countries, uh, and for uh, for entrepreneurs also it provides an opportunity to understand which countries or which regions they should target for new products or new technologies that they're coming up with. I mean, and as we and I mean this is a tool which has empowered countries for the last few years and will continue to evolve as we go forward. And as we gather at COP, uh, the urgency for climate action is clear, and solar energy that offers a pathway to decarbonization and energy security. This study will help all of you understand which countries and which regions lie where on the ecosystem, and help and we provide tools and insights to make this to improve overall development of or to improve the readiness of solar across the regions in a very helpful manner. Thank you for your attention, and I look forward to your questions and to collaborate with all of you to make to make solar energy accessible and impactful for every region. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nikesh. It was a very comprehensive presentation. Before I ask the audience for any questions, Kan, anything that you would like to add on this?
No, I think I would just like to thank the EY team for giving us the support year on year on the EODS. And, we look forward to everybody coming together into making EODS, as Nikesh said, a huge success for the coming years. We want to make this as the go-to report and the tool for any countries who want to get into a healthy competition with each other on developing the solar ecosystem. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kan. Uh, if there is any question, happy to take. Otherwise, I would quickly. No questions? Okay. I'd like to thank the resource team from ISA for the presentation, and I would also like to say that you have the hard copies of the briefs in your hand. You also can search for this report on the website of ISA. Please try to circulate this, socialize this, because the intention is, and this is the truth, that ease of doing solar is probably the only comprehensive compendium of solar of so many countries in a single report. So, as Kan mentioned, the intention is to socialize it and make it the single most report of solar globally, which is referred to by the governments, by the regulators, by financing agencies, everyone. So with that, thank you very much for your time. Thank you, Kan, Nikesh, Sachi, and Ritin. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.